So look at the bench. Conceição was on the bench. Diogo Dalot, Diogo Jota
on the bench.
Pedro Gonçalves, João Felix, Rafael Leao, Mora of Portugal, João Palhinha, Gonzalo Ramos, José Sá, Nelson Semedo, Antonio Silva, Rui Silva, Renato Veiga, Vitinha.
This is a packed squad.
If you want to play a game between Earth, Jupiter, Portugal can represent the Earth. Look at the team they have. Look at the players. Why? So after 25 years of failing to beat Germany, Portugal have finally made it. And interestingly, they've been able to beat Germany by 2-1 at their own background in Munich to book a spot in the finals of the UEFA Nations League. Captain Cristiano Ronaldo getting the equalizer or getting the winner, and Francisco Conceição getting the equalizer coming off the bench, and ultimately winning the Man of the Match awards, which means that Germany are not going to play in the finals of the UEFA Nations League. Portugal have won it before. They won it in the maiden edition, and Cristiano Ronaldo would want to win it again with his home country. Let's see what happens. But they would be up to a task against either France or Spain, who are the defending champions. Spain won it last season. So they will have a very tough task ahead if they're able to meet any of these two oppositions. But let's talk about what happened in the first semi-finals in Munich yesterday. Germany scoring the first goal by Florian Wirtz, and Portugal just in a few minutes getting the equalizer and the winner at the same time. So I did here plus my guy Kobo Sports, the winning guy man, he get money past everybody. He did here to make you assess the game, how Roberto Martinez was able to get the better out of Julian Nagelsmann. Kobo,
yeah,
Charlie, everything cool.
Everything cool.
This is Spurs there.
Charlie, you for be corporate, so mostly my name be corporate guy. So
so Kobo near corporate.
No. The Kobo be my name, but corporate guy to be my name.
So what be the meaning of Kobo?
Kobo is like a currency. It be the currency, but me I changed the first letter. So the currency be K, but my first letter be C.
Because if you get money, that be why.
You know, be sake of I get money. But if you get money safe, Kobo no be anything.
So
now Kobo no be some coin.
So if you get Kobo, money, if you get Kobo back 3,000, I know you money.
You be 3,000 Kobo.
3,000 Kobo. Charlie, yesterday watched the game.
Charlie, very, very, very nice game. I mean, it started well for Germany, not Portugal, because Roberto Martinez did something in the lineup. I mean, he had the lineup wrong from the start, but as a coach, you would have to rectify your situation or rectify the problems if you actually see the flaws in your lineup or the flaws in the tactics you are using in a particular game. So I think that generally he had it wrong from the start, but you know, there is no there is nothing like wrong if you win the game. I mean, if you win the game, we talk about the game.
Yeah, we talk about the fact that you winning. It's about winning. So
so he won yesterday, and then I think that it's very, very, very good for them. I mean, you know, the materials Portugal have, they don't have to struggle to beat Germany. This Germany side.
Why?
Because you see, Portugal can have players that can easily come from the bench and influence the game.
Yeah. And
that's what happened yesterday. We'll go into the game, but you know, he started with a 4-3-3 shape, and with the he is Roberto Martinez. I mean, the Portugal started with the 4-3-3 shape, and then you know something, the lineup, the way I'm saying the reason why I'm saying the lineup was kind of a mistake is that he started João Neves as a right back.
Yeah.
You see, but along the line, he saw that no, Portugal needed energy in the midfield. So João Neves moved from the makeshift right back. I mean, he was playing as a right back, but not actually as a right back, but as, you know, inverting right back. Yeah. And then, you know, Gonzalo Inacio and then Ruben Diaz, they will come as the three back, you know. So, but along the line, João Neves moved from the right back position to the middle. And Ruben Neves, the Ahila Ruben Neves, moved to right back. And you know, Ruben Neves, because of where he plays football and the intensity there is not much. So I saw that he was struggling. Ruben Neves was actually struggling in the inverted role as a makeshift right back. He was struggling. And, Joao Neves, because he was struggling, he also needed to come in the middle to come and help Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves was also, too young for that. For only that role, he was too young. He needed a shield, or he needed someone to play with. And that is what happened. And Germany capitalized on that. Used that flanks. And if you can see the goal, the Florian Wirtz goal, it came from that flanks.
Yeah.
It came from that flank. So I think he had the lineup wrong, but he rectified it by bringing in Vitinha. My God, that is a top player. Vitinha controlled the game within like 10 minutes. This is a midfielder. And that's why I told you, Portugal has, players that they can actually, influence the game from the bench. Conceição came from the bench and then he scored. And that goal was, an individualistic goal. He took the ball from some meters from the center line, and then he just, placed the ball into the net, just like that. So it was like something like, a one-man job. You need those kind of players to thrive in this kind of competition. It was very tough for Portugal, but they scored in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
After the goal, they scored in about 15 minutes. And I think it was very, very, very good for them. But Vitinha. I don't know why he didn't start the game, because if we are playing, I know national team coaches have their players that they love and all of that. Ruben Neves has been a starter for the national team, but let's be real, this season we are talking about form. We are talking about the player who can impact the game. We are talking about the player who can actually control the game. Vitinha and Ruben Neves. It's definitely Vitinha. So as a coach, I think that going forward in the final, I think that Vitinha should start the final.
But you see, sometimes you take a look at the situation. Vitinha, arguably one of the best midfielders we have in the world. If you want the top two or the top performing three midfielders in the world,
easily,
there's Vitinha, there's Pedri, and then there's one other player whom you can mention.
Yeah.
Now, the coach, I think, opted to start Ruben Neves ahead of Vitinha because Vitinha has had a very stressful season.
That's true.
Playing in almost every match in the league, playing in every Champions League game. And quite recently, playing in the finals, and you just saw what he exhibited in the finals. So we have equally good players in the national team. Why don't I rest Vitinha? Let me have a feel of Ruben Neves. Let me see what he also brings to the team when Vitinha is not available. Sometimes these coaches want to test. If Vitinha is not available, can Ruben Neves play?
Kelly, are you going as a coach, are you going to experiment in a semi-final?
So you are not experimenting with Ruben Neves because he's played a lot and he started in World Cup matches where Vitinha didn't play. So if you are starting with Ruben Neves, you are not experimenting.
Okay.
You are experimenting the fact that Vitinha is arguably the best midfielder in the world.
Yeah,
currently.
Of course.
So if you don't have the best midfielder in the world playing, can your team still thrive?
No.
Yes, so that is what he realized yesterday. And the fact that you have Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Neves doesn't mean Joao Neves should also play. He wanted to have Joao Neves on the pitch for control.
Yeah.
And my guy, Joao Neves at the right back can't work. You have Diogo Dalot.
It didn't work.
Semedo is the first.
Semedo came in. Semedo came in the second half.
And he changed.
And he did really, really well.
He changed.
So I feel like if you have the right personnel, you play the right personnel.
Position.
It doesn't matter. You have to be bold as a coach. Roberto Martinez has the materials, but he has to be bold in his decisions and take the right decisions, play the right personnel. If you don't fancy that law, or if you don't trust that law, Semedo is there, you can play Semedo.
So you tell me you are starting Joao Neves as a right back against France. You die.
It's not going to happen.
You die.
You see, so going forward, I think that the right personnel are there. The materials are there. You can see Rafael Leao on the bench, Joao Felix on the bench, Francisco Conceição on the bench.
This is the kind of squad depth they have.
Very, 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 very good squad depth.
So look at the bench. Conceição was on the bench. Diogo Dalot, Diogo Jota
on the bench.
Pedro Gonçalves, Joao Felix, Rafael Leao, Mora of Portugal, João Palhinha, Gonzalo Ramos, José Sá, Nelson Semedo, Antonio Silva, Rui Silva, Renato Veiga, Vitinha.
This is a packed squad.
If you want to play a game between Earth, Jupiter, Portugal can represent the Earth. Look at the team they have. Look at the players.
There is players, the materials are there.
And comparing them to Germany, you see, these German players or this German squad, I think you have about 80 or 90% of them playing in Germany. Ter Stegen
is playing. Is outside.
He's the only exception in the starting lineup.
Of
Ter
course.
Stegen plays in
Barcelona.
Spain.
Or Spain.
Vladimir Anton, Jonathan Tah for Bayern Munich, Anton for Dortmund, Robin Koch for Frankfurt, Kimmich for Munich, Pavlovic for Munich, Goretzka for Munich, Mettelstadt for Stuttgart, Stanley for Munich, Vetz for Leverkusen, Woltemade for Stuttgart.
So it's like they are Germans.
And you see, these players are good players, but they are not players that can be compared to the level the Portuguese players have reached. Anton Koch has played in the EPL once for Leeds United, and he's not up there. Jonathan Tah,
they lost Rüdiger, so
yes.
They equally lost some crucial players. Jamal Musiala was not available. Rüdiger was not available, and Serge Gnabry is also not up to his form. So he was on a bench. He came from the bench. He didn't really work like that. Jonathan Tah was struggling, because of the pace. He was struggling in the game. So Jonathan Tah and Rüdiger complement each other, because Rüdiger will bring the pace even if Jonathan Tah cannot match up to the pace. But yesterday was, Tah was struggling. I saw a one-on-one, battle between Tah and then I think it was Conceição, and then it was that funny. It was a funny moment because Tah was struggling, very 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 quick, very 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 smallish and quick too. So they were struggling, but yesterday Neto also did well. He kind of missed one or two chances in the first half.
The regular Neto,
but he did well, and I'm very happy for him for the fact that Chelsea has played a lot of matches this season. So I'm going into Portuguese national team, and he's starting for the semi-final for Portugal. So I'm very happy for Neto. He should continue. I don't know if he will start him ahead of the Rafael Leaos, the Joao Felix, and then the other wingers in the final, but I'm expecting him to start. So I'm very, very happy for Neto too. But the last time Portugal won against Germany, Conceição's father. You see, Conceição's father, that is the former coach of AC Milan, and then the former coach of Porto, Sergio Conceição, in 2000 Euros scored hat-trick against Germany. And then about some 20 plus 2 decades down the lane, his son Francisco Conceição also scores, and they have eliminated Germany in the Nations League semi-final. But Germany, the semi-finals and then the finals are played or will be played in Germany. So yesterday I saw the German fans. They were just packed in the stadium, ready to go to final and then eventually go and take the trophy. But it didn't work like that.
It doesn't work like you wish.
It doesn't work like that. So Portugal have advanced to the Nations League final, which they will be meeting France and then Spain.
Based on the Portugal team you saw yesterday, based on the squad depth, based on the performance yesterday, do you think they can go all out against any of Spain or France?
I think they have the materials to do that. I think they have the materials to do that. And most of their players are on form this season too, except their defense. I feel their defense is kind of shaky. Ruben Dias. Yesterday, Ruben Dias was complaining. Ruben Dias is too old to be complaining. The goal Florian Wirtz scored was a chip from Kimmich, and that was a top assist by Kimmich. Kimmich is that experienced,
intelligent,
very, very intelligent. So there was a chip by Kimmich, and then when he chipped the ball as a defender, Gonzalo Inacio was taking their striker on, and Ruben Dias, you are supposed to be on Florian Wirtz. But Ruben Dias rather complained. He was complaining as an offside. Meanwhile, it is football. Anything can happen. You might miss your mark or your marker. So the first, line should be the ball, or the first attempt should be the ball, and then the player, and not to complain. Ruben Dias is too old to be complaining.
He likes complaining.
He likes complaining. I don't know why. And then I think that the performance of Manchester City is affecting him. I mean, he hasn't been great this season, or the Manchester City team hasn't been great this season. So
I think because of the injury he had as well,
you see, it's
really
affecting him.
his
So
performance.
he's too good to be complaining. I feel like he's too. So I think that Portugal has the materials, but I mean, it has to be the right personnel for the final, or the right tactics for the final, for them to clinch the trophy.
Title.
But I think that they have the materials. If you are talking about materials and form, I mean, there is Nuno Mendes yesterday, top performance. There is Vitinha, there is Joao Neves, there is Ronaldo, the big man up
have all
front.
the players.
They have the materials to do that. So I think that they can, but with the right personnel and with the right tactics, they will be able to do that.